Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yo, Sister Wendy, ne brother Roland, dear Damasi, Yamin Shamu, and you Hama Mato Amaye. Lamre, Mama, didn't see a trash in I am umpire and the should begin. I say. So has a for Rade, and you may be a mama here that was say, you're showing him Yamia Tontromo. Say, I pair. Now, Amaya Quenya Cassi, now Ujumedie, in Kenya, Ujumedie, a day to us and so ye Baba Shassi. Yɛde dwumadie on sayɛda wase enwuma wonam akua ne wafuna aso de ama yɛn se kyerɛ yɛn kwan pa yɛn fa so yɛsrɛ wo sɛ yɛhyɛ dwumadie ase hyɛ ho animonyam na wo ho kronkron metena ponoti na fa wo nsa to ɔsɔfoɔ boampɔn so fa nsa ka na adwene na akoma ne nipadua nsɛm a ɔbɛka na nyɛ nsɛm a wo awurade wasiesie ama yɛn ɛbɛma yɛn nidasoɔ na hyɛ yɛn din na kyerɛ yɛn ama aboa yɛn ama yɛtumi afa saa kwan pa no so yɛda wase sɛ watie yɛn awurade ɛfiri yɛbisa wei nyina wɔdɔba yesu kristo din mu nti amen
Amen.
ɔsɔfo no makenkan sɛm a ɔsɔfoɔ de gyina so akasa kyerɛ yɛn nwummerɛ yi no yɛbɛhu no wɔ john ɛtiri edu nkyekyɛmu edu john 10:10 na mekan aborɔfo no ɔse the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Okay, tree na wase owifuo ne ma gisa obewia na okum na osei na media maba sede beye a mobenya nkwa na monya no mo ho onyankopɔn nhyira de suan yeso akinkan sɛm yeso mai yesu de mu nti amen
Amen.
afei yɛnsɛ mmerɛ koraa no yɛn nyinaa yɛnim yɛsɔfoɔ Charles Puni Boampɔn na ɔno na nyawɔtwe nyame ayi na si hɔ ama yɛn sɛ yɛ revival a ɛkɔ so a ɛsi hold on there is hope no nyankopɔn nam no so ɛde bra yɛn ɛnura ɛna yɛhyɛ aseɛ enti na ɛnɛ nso nyame nam no so ɛba bɛtoa so na ɛnura dodoɔ na mutimi baayɛ anaasɛ mutimi hwɛ yɛn wɔ Zoom no muhu sɛ nyame nam no so hyɛ yɛn den paa kɛseɛ enti anwummerɛ yi nso no ɛnyɛ any different nyame nam no so bɛtoa so ahyɛ yɛn den akenyan yɛn enti me mama asɛm nwa no yɛn nua Roland and Sister Wendy the Roland family no nyom bɛsa ato the theme song na ma yɛ no mutu theme song no no ma no si a nipa mo bɛte ne nka ɛyɛ yɛn ankasa yɛ sɔfoɔ Charles Puni Boampɔn a ɔno na yɛ Hartford ne Boston ne Bridgeport ɛne Lowell sɔfoɔ enti no Sister Roland ne brother Sister Wendy ne brother Roland ebe di na mato aso na mato theme song no amaye nti o ma no si a obati osofo en inshallah
So
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
In what's it, Damas, Yamishram, Jena Yabompai, Radi Yadawasi, and you may, when you would de Amaye, say Mrao Nasi, Nafe, Imedi, Wasemo, and Como. We invite your presence, say a baboye, na ene yebedwen ho biara no aboya mayati wo urade wase na yetmedia ho atroso ede oma ehie nyina bebi biara obia wo ede ho hye wonsa yebe distractions pani nyina egumaye akasa control ya dwen afi maye ansanim die o wonsem ye ho ede ho hye wonsa yametomfo ede ani mo maye wo Yesu die monti amen.
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 Yo, yada muyina se me share my screen no. Yada doctor ase ese odi animu empire ne. I can cancel ye odi ema yen na fe. Ye emos na no kan for when the ebusuano so nyoma mode ema yen. Yada radi ase ye itimi abaso nyina so yada mose for your time. Some jamu bibia na fe maba na ebedi enkomo ewo trust no mu enra nyame adom yetimi hyiae na obekaya twin adwen se wiki na de ye no is not any intellectual discourse and not say theological discourse bia na it's all about lifetime issues ye fem and afei at times no ya na de hu no na we try to take matters into our own hands na it may jump ahead of God and only a person twin adwen si so say in every circumstance, we're trying to learn how to hold on. Nafe who said there is hope. Everything de who atu and rather than so. Enti enra who said we should hold on. So say we are not alone in the situation. We are the kosubiano. Unyame ekaye ho. We cite examples. Idia from the Bible. So nyame or abandon. Nema ekwebiaso even though we are unlovable nyame edoye na who send a present the love and a faith the mercy just running after us just chasing us so they who examples and they too it's God's love and the problem of suffering and no NF yebedre ho enti hu nyame do no enra ye emphasis ni nyina no newo ono nyame ne do no seni osi edoye no na yetwe yadwen esi so enu nti okan ye hu ohu ye mroye enyina enti ohwese ye de ho tuno so abribiara enti enra seni aweka no na emphasis ni nyina no na it was based on the Bible's claims that God is love and that he loves his children and the entire world and that his love is incomprehensible and eternal and he's in control of our lives. That was our premise yesterday. And no 1 John 4:9 and 10. Yeah, first so and I'm a highlight to all to say here is love, not that we loved him, but that he loved us. Or no, yeah, no, or no, when we go to Revelation 1:5, the same thing also unto him that loved us. Or no enafe or ye or no ena or ye and retreat. Yeah, grace. So now but we hear the following a fee and call for and recital a similar one. If a loving God is in control of all the things around us, why is the world in such a mess? Why so much suffering in the world? Now we see God is love and so loving to this world, and he cannot be the cause of our suffering. Says or dot na for do we see edia enkaso no ena amani hu nyina no efri no. Another question, as was if God is not the cause of our suffering, then the question is what is the root cause of all the suffering and evil we see on our earth today, or who is behind all the suffering and the evil on the earth today? Say Bible no establishes nyame yodo afi no we nyina ekoswa then and hefa ne faribai and they say a hospitals normal as in nipa see kum or how amani home our family members, our friends and our relatives who they are also. Our Bible no attribute all the suffering and evil in our world to Lucifer or Satan's rebellion against God in heaven. Now the question is, the devil in heaven, incredible, but I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Luke 10:18. And if he fell from heaven, who said, Revelation 12:9, so the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, the Satan, and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And we establish here, baby, of heaven, and I told no a free a buy. And the Bible no unveil a most tragic story. And whatever we are saying is based on from the Bible, biblical accounts, and Satan or Lucifer, as his name used to be, was a beautiful, powerful angel in heaven. Contrary to most artist paintings, the devil is not as an ugly monster with horns, no tail, no terrible instrument. The Bible no can say or counsel na be a none who a fey or a senior for draw no as a painting of devil and say as a monster be no would Diana Fay and no ma who be crowned and yes sir. Bible no a didn't want dance yes senior. And the Bible no you sue the prophet Ezekiel you sue a symbolism of king of Tyre, and describe with Satan in heaven before he was cast onto the earth. Ezekiel 28:12-14. Also, you were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you. You were anointed as guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. And Ezekiel 28, what you told a king of Tyre when he said, hey, was he as she said, who come and to who does a board, dear boy, and a boy, we drew very precious, and he was made of. And to Lucifer, Satan was created perfect in who he has. He held an exalted position in heaven. He was a ranking member of heaven. He was a guardian cherub and an angel who stood beside God's throne. But this angel was not content being next to God, not obeying Yame, but unsuitable. And I say, Nanny, and so. And he kind from 15 to 17, Ezekiel 28. Also, something happened that spoiled this close relationship with God. Be intimacy, the relationship that we have with God, it can be broken. Now, a DNA, this is what of the Lord says. Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that you were created till iniquity was found in you. Iniquity was found in him. We know a mystery, a mystery. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. And iniquity was found in him. And I say he was a very proud in his beauty. Any normal equals 20. And no idea or and what Sam said. Now he wasn't created as a monster anymore. Now he is beautiful, perfect in everything. This beautiful angel exalted, became arrogant and proud. His pride led him to want to be equal to God. So he coveted the glory and homage due to God alone. He was power hungry. At times, become power hungry, and what it does not belong to us, and we try to say, every force is India. This created angel had the boldness to challenge his creator for the rulership of the universe. How thou art fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cast down to the ground? For you have said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. That is how Isaiah puts it from Isaiah 14:12-14. And Tiano explaining Amayahu Opese obey, just exalting himself above his creator. And this, as this arrogant words spilled from his lips, the perfect love and harmony of heaven was shattered into pieces. It wasn't long before Lucifer began to spread the spirit of discontent among the other angels. So sadly, he undermined the love and justice of God, and was able to spread his rebellion to other angels in heaven. And Bra, on your content with what he had, but he tried to influence other angels as well. Now, it wasn't an open something, but he did it subtly. And fitting as you must say at times, when we are not satisfied with a situation or condition, we try to just bring people into our thinking. And then we go on with the plans Nipano Ede Abano. Then God could have eliminated Lucifer. Because any question I can say all this, why a powerful God? Why eliminating Nafe just left him to go ahead with his plans. Nafe God could have done that. And the angels who chose to join his revelation, but had he done so, all his creatures would have served him out of fear. But we have already established that God is love, and he can only be happy in a love relationship with creatures where they worship him because they love and trust him. So God doesn't want us to serve him or worship him out of fear. He leaves us to determine what we want to do. He doesn't force anyone. And then the question, Lucifer questioned God's wisdom and justice, the way God ran the universe. He challenged God's law and his fairness. God did not place his law in operation to prove his greatness. The session and so on say, not to prove so are very great, but rather he made them to protect his creatures, to ensure their peace and happiness. His laws are like spotlights, stoplights and speed limit signs, all planned for our safety and well-being. That is the reason for his law. And when Lucifer and so the other side say stoplights are way we have here the speed limit signs. They are there to for safety, for our safety, for our well-being. They are there to protect us. That's the question. So the most honored of all angels thought that he could run the universe better than God. So Lucifer, who is called son of the morning, by his spirit of deceit and rebellion, became Satan, the adversary of God. The subtle deception spread by Satan infected 1/3 of the angels in heaven. If you go to Revelation 12, verse 4, and a lady to an open rebellion. And to when also no he said now the Lucifer, but then it became an adversary of God. Then that was Satan and no to be a time for. And strange as it may seem, there was war in heaven. So in the Bible want to see or describe no. Revelation 12:7-9. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceived the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Revelation 12:7-9. So heaven became the battleground of the first war, and Satan and his angels were thrown out of heaven. So it started over there, up there in heaven. And when your baby and a 1/3 of an angels were to me, so the conflict between Christ and Satan was not over. It started up there, but it has just changed places. And it started up there in heaven, but now the battle that began in heaven moved to planet Earth. So Earth became the stage upon which the great controversy between good and evil will be dramatized, when Satan will demonstrate his kind of government and how he will run the world. And so they are now all investigations, and we see perfectly well around us, say, this is what he meant. And no, now we'll play as I see Isua Yehuno, and picture no war no essay, and when baby, that is how the Bible describes it in on any angels so Revelation 12:4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast to the earth, and the dragon stood before. Okay, that is another part of it. In the first part, we're talking about drawing 1/3 of the angels with him. About a corn, a throne, a tree, as so. And here, 12:12 now. Also, therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he had but a short time. Also, for anyone to know, so when you name no asase so for in me asase ne epo adentia san say wato a year of samono aba asase no fa bufuo kese pa why san so nim say ne bre no ayetia say obre yetia you do things in a hurried manner, san say you have to accomplish something. Motives really are into what me when I feel ye. Enti the oye bia no send you be achieve ne goals, ne aims no. The question say I didn't see why, but why earth? I didn't think assassin so that a corner by a tool ne tree. I was thinking about it now. Yamia don't mean answer be ever say why did our planet have to become Satan's target? Now, the answer is we create Bible the creation of earth, until another creation be Abel. And the earth has just been made by the Creator in all its splendor and perfection, lovely and beautiful beyond description, home designed and decorated by the Creator himself. Why, yes, I see, come on. So Satan would not attempt to invade and control an established planet with loyal, God-loving inhabitants. Enti yɛnhwɛ sɛ obi ɛkɔko afa asase bi anaasɛ ɔman bi no wonkɔ baabi a yɛfɛ sɛ ɔmayɛ well established no ɔmayɛ very protected no wontumi ɔnkɔ hɔ ɛhɔ ɛna afɔ ɔde n'ani ɛkyerɛ sɛ obi countries ɛwɔ around this ɔpɛ ɔman bi akɔ akɔto ahyɛ so I don't think say you think of just invading America ɛsan sɛ wontumi ɛnsɛ sɛ wɔba hɔ na mmom no kɔ nketewa bi sɛ yɛdeɛ no saa na ahoɔden ni hɔ no a then you might win them. And that the target, and so Satan would not attempt to invade he will attempt to seize a planet of fragile beauty, a newborn world. So when Satan was cast out of heaven, he came to the earth and tempted Eve and Adam to join his rebellion. And Adam and Eve were created perfect, but they were not placed beyond the possibility of wrongdoing. Not almost perfect, but they had a power of choice. And nunti, it means they could choose wrongly, and I said, choose right. So they were free to choose to love and follow God or to ignore his instructions, but their loyalty will be tested. And that test will focus on a single thing. God will, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden. But you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat of it, you will surely die. Genesis 2:16 and 17. And until the first established as they were created as free human beings with the power of choice. Into choose as we are now, we can choose to follow God or to ignore his instructions. And today, you might be here listening, but you might choose not to follow the instructions. That was what happened with the first couple. But instructions. So their fall changed from paradise to a beautiful battleground. From paradise to a battleground, a beautiful paradise. Paradise, a battleground for so to speak. All the inhabitants of the universe have witnessed the results of Satan's work here on earth, which is all the suffering we see and find ourselves in. Or tempted a year, Adam and Eve, man or year. So man is most vulnerable when he is caught completely off guard because he feels secure, like what happened to Eve. That is what happened to Eve. Satan used his supernatural power to deceive her. So Satan really works openly. He doesn't work, it really works openly and subtly, through the serpent. He uses government, he uses organizations, people, friends, and even a serpent, that is why Paul said in Ephesians 6:11 and 12, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. And when you wouldn't think that the air course is there to trap you, but Ubehuan is why a friend says scapegoat, and that's happened to Eve and Adam. And when the question is you share or not, so when Adam and Eve followed Satan's rebellion, all mankind became tainted by sin. That is why we have that propensity to sin. So almost creators perfect beings, so not ignore the instructions, so not so inclination, you have that propensity, say and all mankind became tainted by sin into war enemy. And Romans 5:12-14. So Satan hijacked the newborn world. From that moment, he laid claim to the dominion, and the title said, he's the prince of this world. He's the prince of this world. This and say, on air control and normal ahuru. Now, whatever comes out of his hands, and ye adia, a ye and dia, a ye peaceful, and dia, a ye sources, name a idea, a ye or how suffering, pain, anguish, and a fee a day ever. And ye who God's love, and a fee who a ye suffering, and say, then you know, me and a disa a man who buy the cause, the source is from a year angel turned into the devil. Who was it that plagued Job? Into question is why dear money who called Job was soon Satan, who stole his livestock and killed his servants, or Satan, who brought the tornado that destroyed his sons and daughters, you might ask, the same Satan, who brought all these sufferings on Job, and also the same answer is Satan. And who we say and no maybe we don't have to attribute and I say just blame God for them, but they won't say the source and I say the person behind it, a Satan as the power behind it. So the Lord may allow difficulties and sufferings to come to test our loyalty and love, but Satan is the guilty one responsible for all the evil on planet Earth. And sometimes difficulties we about suffering, we about to test our loyalty and love to God. We say upon some end of the back, but God allows it. You and I are caught in the center of this complex cosmic drama, a conflict between order and a lawlessness. It's a conflict between good and evil. It's a conflict between the Creator and Satan. And we are not spectators, underline. You're not spectators, but yes, take sides. We are involved, whether we want to be or not, into whether you want to be on the master's side and also you want to be on the enemy's side. There is no middle ground. A spectator. We can't hold a corner, you can't hold it. And Nunti and was a fair breath, all the time, yes, me assess it, Nayankasa, ya revive where when you say, Yanamon to send a city, how is our work with our Lord, send a city, who says here, and yet, then Akai was saying. So the idea that Satan is only, sometimes people say, Satan cry when you a myth, a idea, and the influence near that idea that Satan is only a myth or an influence leaves us totally unprepared to confront the intelligent being he actually is. Tibasa, when you professor, Okasa didn't know what they're better than what is you who say, would they trace at the chrono? Into the Revelation 12, you can I will say, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Underline, in the book of he knows that he had but a short time, Enti Peter Twaso a warning, 1 Peter 5:8. The devil is a roaring lion, walks as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. Enti has no emphasize say John the say he has come down here great wrath. It's an so him say time no Esra. And Peter kase or boom to say ejata na ohwe obi obinya no na fe 1 million. Enti are we going to create loose say obinya na 1 million and say what say bepe shelter be na fe ye de ho akwa kwhwe. When we talk about shelter, not shelter ben ye kan ho asemi shelter ye sebia de refugees and as no while we are talking about the omnipotent no or no any tornadoes, earthquakes, floods, fire, NFA, crime, diseases, heartaches, pain, and suffering. All this we see, but standing unseen behind them, all is the supernatural working of Satan. Or the other say California Jeshi, won't say how to see who now Jack at Nina, you amani huina. Now so dear what I actually no to me attach. We don't see ye in fact ye ni a year or ye unseen. And yet ye into these tragedies are not acts of God. No more we say no ye per se establishing Yame and Yaman say no Jumano Yaman they are acts of the devil. Now sin has distorted the image of God in mankind. Bone nyame su away mono aseno into Romans, you can Romans 1:29-32. A train dream is so. But there is good news. Even though sin has distorted the image of God, away mono sabri nyano a year good news and so ewo. The good news really saying the good news is that this planet, which is hijacked by Satan, is soon to be rescued. Is soon to be rescued. The battle is over, but we're waiting for our Savior. This knowledge should quiet our fear and help us to hold on. Very soon and very soon, about the rescue ye na fe what the yako baby I was this man say fears be a say a man echo from issue quiet our fears na fe a boy and say bit to me a hold on and what the air possible there is hope. Jesus is coming, and when he comes, the prophecy of Ezekiel will be fulfilled concerning Satan. Ezekiel has prophesied about Satan, or say, I will destroy thee, covering cherub, talking about a year 28, you know, from 16 and 18, or say, I will destroy thee, or covering cherub. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee, it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth. And Peter, 1 Peter 5:8 say, when nam say jata roaring lion a fail or bubun say obia obinyanwa devour. When so a time is coming, nyame say a fire ebe from the midst na fire no ebe devour a yes Satan. Dear or dada for the dear money whom by yes. So ain't a good news say a day, and I was saying the person who has the power to destroy this terrible enemy. Why don't we run to him for shelter? Now for the echo to be also with him at the care say or control when also. Other good news, gone forever will be sin and suffering, and also your good news. Since a man who you any bonino and yadia, you be who ebio. Yes, yes, and Jesus is coming soon. He will return to this planet Earth. Now, we must be ready for if we miss that. And I think say they are missing everything. The loving God sends His Son, His Spirit, and His angels to help us in our struggle against evil and suffering. Nyame asuma ne ba ne honhom na bofo nyina e ba be boye ewo ye struggle yemu. God sent His Son to deliver us from suffering and death and to give us a life more abundantly. Sending a test look John 10:10 no say obonsam wa so ne bedia grow but say obekum wia na fe wasai na everade de oba say my nkwa na fe nya no emro so I think say this is a very good news that was say ye de ye ho etoso na yɛde ho ɛto ɔno Awurade no so. And good news, God creates a new earth without suffering, pain, and death, and gives everlasting life. Revelation 21:4-5. And also, so for any assassin for one. Who sa enuma we say enyina ɛwɔ hɔ na no nkyerɛ sɛ wɔ sɛ yɛtwa kɔpem saa brɛ no ansa no sɛ yɛmfa yɛn ho nto ɔno Awurade no so sɛ ɔno na ɛbɔ yɛn ho ban. He guides us through all the suffering and pain na o protect yɛn so through all of them na fei no ultimately no deɛ ɔde ma yɛn sɛ yɛnhu saa noma we say nyina ɛwɔ hɔ bio. We are very good news ne ka sɛm pa sɛ makoma edi de sɛ nyame bɛboa na fei me nso mɛtumi afa ɔhaw nyina mu atwɛn. He is close to us and helps us in times of pain and suffering and causes all things to work together for good. And one of the right now, all the suffering and pain be working together for my good. Once you are working together for your own good, and when you say you have to hold on, then who said there is hope? Say he sometimes uses suffering as a means of education, turning evil into something that in the end is good for us. In Tibia, there to educate us. Na fei obetimi atene boni beef will be a banzo, send you betimi aye at the part at the amayeno. There are so much of we say instances of Bible no emu. Yahweh Hebrew 12:6. Or say, for whom the Lord loves, he chastens and scourges every son whom he receives. And say, amani who at times, is there, say, Yame at the A, so I shall say, true and no, loyalty to him, true and no, educate you, no, maybe a home, na fei, Eddie, want to or no, Yame Esuye. The issue facing each of us today is, whom will we believe? Whom will we follow? A loving God or a fallen angel? The lines are being drawn. The whole world is being divided into two sides. And where is your loyalty? Dear Elise, Ibedi, ye Name Echi, and now say Angel Awafia say no Echi. The loving God and the aiding Echi, and I say, why ye be believing? Now, why and ye believe in you say, Zabrino division, Eguswa, and a hefan of a quakudi. And here for now be loyalty no why ho and a beko loyalty no ho and a beko. Let us not become involved in a search for theoretical answers to the problem of suffering. Toribia na problem of suffering and we say ne source no be a free no a supernatural. And Toribia theoretical per se who say we and say when they say it goes beyond that. Suffering is the consequence of sin originated by God, by Satan. And a year, but neho akutu Satan and they enam the suma and buy and nunti say pe anumwa we have to go to the source. Say or no nyamia or no ebo adie on the boy na favorite me at say sa amanihu yasin our boy and some yasefi sa amanihono emu. Toribia na fe siki and normal be from water from systems into me and contain water mu. They say you call the source nyamena fe or boy amanihono emu. That does not mean say we don't have to go for counsel and I say consult other friends to some my friends say answers be to no maybe a go. But we're talking here say when we deep in suffering pain and say a dear real question and say a dear real question be assistance BM. The emu said ye hon so or no a so. Instead, God's children are to find in suffering a challenge to do something, to hold on and trust God to get a victory over frustration, over disappointment, over suffering, over pain. Say no, I train your graces so say bah and your dear Ben was say then twice you hold on and for your home to a year or no a so. And to every restless, lonely heart, to every aching, guilty soul, to all his children here on earth, Jesus gives a loving invitation. Come unto me, and him that comes to me, I will no wise cast out. Matthew 11:28, na fe John 6:37. Enti ayakoma brefo bibiara, empo akuma bubu na fe uhia ahomegye no otomano na Kristo ode maye no atene nsa. Say yamra nchen na bibiara oba nchen kwa bie no say obeto wahwene kwa bie no so obeto wahwene say bu yakoma ne eba nchen ya imo ya so de dia sene to Lucifer training, you know, sir, but yes, saving our kind when me, he knows you, he knows me, he knows our weaknesses, and he knows our strengths. He's calling us. The invitation is a Yamran and change. Jesus longs to restore to you to the family of God. You have driven away from the Lord. God has not told you to leave him, but one kasa the echoes new thing say it's not doing enough for you, and to abandon. He longs to restore you to that family of God, to give you eternal life on a planet made new, but the decision must be made. Say, I've been seeing, and next week, but now, who will be your Lord and Master? That is the question. So, friends, your decision is a life and death issue, that life and death matter. Won't you choose right now to let Christ be your king? Enti saa bere no wo mpause o ma Kristo aye wurade ene wo he bra wo kura mu na fe do ho ato no so isan se enda so e wo ho anda so e wo ho e ma yen se de ho to no awurade so a awurade nka ye ho na fe ondom ye na saa na wotwe no ye de be si ene so bia so mo na fe ntimi nkenya ye ho na fe ye fe ho to no so ye no wonti empaibo na wonye ma yen wo Yesu di mu nti amen.
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 Amen. Amen. You better also for us. In some a man who can manage to put on the number so at the Amaya you and me say, me the mammy, I mean, you say, Mobia, Utibia, so I mean, when you're chef. You know, you better Yamiasi say, or boy, na yasa and some say. Then someone your tea in you know, you be see a babo home pie, na yastring, I may say, on wine, na a fee. And some yati invitation for fair by and change say you be choose the God of love rather than the destroyer and the liar or the devil. Na me moye na wa utie yen say utie yen wo fie mo ya sorry ba na sa onya sorry ba obi na invite o baby a utie free bia no na sa decision here very important decision intimi moye na me moye ni intimi inteki sa decision na yen choose awrade na yemfa ye homa awrade enti ye be see a trust na yasre na sorry penny Isaac Ajimai the pacho but mpaye maye ne tu yen hye Nyankopon sa se asem a osofo ebo e kan yi nyame moaye na yentimi ntu ho anamo na moaye na yentimi enye no kwaidifo na de besi bia no yen cast your vote so your pastor kan no say the battle lines are being drawn na yen choose to be on the side of God rather than on the side of the deceiver inti yebesre say mumi si trust na sorry penny Isaac mpaye maye Yewia obo mpaye no yewia na yenua be ma Roland ene ne yire na mosiesie mo hono mato closing him na man yewia na afie na osofo ehira so na ye de dwumedie no abawie ye bebo modern say time no pepe ye di so pepe enti elder Isaac bebo mpaye man
Every for me mpaye nyame ni abankese nyame a woni ye hwemoda ada ne da wano etwe asum na wonyame ukasa kire Rade wachire yen se enokra semni yes ya jiwidi a Onyankopon ye ni da so se de ho twere wa wonyame ompa ye nhweda enokra semni Rade wasan kire yen akwampa ye mfa so a yedunya da nkwaje ama ye nkra Rade ye de wase wonen nkwaje sem a ani da so nsem a wonam wakoa so edi amayen edi wasese bi ani amayen hunu se ye fabo nkumo se foni fa ni nyina ejina yen so na wo Nyankopon utu yefo se ye mfa papa Awurade ye de wase so odi amayen sa
amen
nyame yesrewo ɔtan ɛne ne tan a ɛda yɛne ɔsɛfoɔ ne ntam nti wɔde ɔhaw ɛne amanneɛ ɛna ebubu yɛn so na ne nyinaa mu no Awurade ne yɛsrɛ nsɛ sɛ wɔbonsam ɛde n'ahaw no ɛba yɛn so a woyɛ ndimafoɔ woyɛ kwankyerɛfoɔ ɛne woyɛ yɛn ntam gyinafoɔ enti Awurade anwummere yi yɛde yɛn ho ɛhyɛ wo nsa amen ya ɔsɛfoɔ no ɛde yakɔwura a ɔpɛ so ɔtwe yɛn afiri Onyankopɔn nsɛm deɛ anwummere wakyerɛ yɛn sɛ yɛmfa wo na bɛma yɛn nneɛma mu ayɛ ha nti Awurade yɛsɛ sɛ domboa yɛn saa daa amen nefa yɛn fom so kyɛ yɛn Awurade nea ɛyɛ biara ɛnhyɛ wo Onyankopɔn anuonyam no Awurade yɛsɛ sɛ hyɛ yɛn asomdwem Awurade ne yɛsɛ nsɛ nkama yɛntena wo nyina ase o ɛkɔso sɛ wo Onyankopɔn wabɛn kɛseɛ ne bɛbɔ mu Awurade yɛsrɛ wo yɛpɛ sɛ yɛnya nkwagyeɛ ɛma yɛn kra daa nkwagyeɛ nti yɛsrɛ sɛ hu yɛn mmɔbɔ mesiesie na atwe yɛn bɛn wasɛnnua no ase ɛwɔ Yesu Kristo din mu yɛsrɛ sɛ ma yɛnya anidasoɔ pa ɛwɔ mu ɛwɔ adom ne ahomɔborɔ no nti amen
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Afei yɛbɛsrɛ Sister Wendy ɛne yɛn nuabɛrima Amos na ɔmo ato yɛ closing hymn no ama yɛn ewia na ɔsɔfo ahyira so na ansa na ɔmo bɛto ama yɛn na ɔsɔfo ahyira so na yɛmfa announcement ne mmra na kyerɛ sɛ ewia na yɛde message no kɔ na yɛanwene biribiara ho bi nti announcement ɛwɔ hɔ a sɛ yɛkae yɛn ho sɛ dwumadie no ahyɛ aseɛ no nti na epiki speed nti yɛnkae na yɛnto yɛn nsam frɛ yɛn nuanom yɛn afofoɔ abusuafoɔ a ɔmantimi ama ne nyinaa yɛnkae ɔmo deɛ ɔmo mmese na ɔmo nyinaa efi ɔkyena ɛkɔ no obiara ɛmfa ne ho ɛnhyɛ mu nti nyambɔ ɔkyena nwummerɛ bɛtoa so 7:30 ɛkɔ akɔsi memenda a nyame pa yɛde bɛwie ɛna nyambɔ ɔkyena nɔpa so 5:30 to 6:30 no Sabbath school adesua ɛbɛkɔ so nti yɛnkae na ɛkyena no each one call one obiara mfrɛ nipa baako yɛnto nsa mfrɛ nipa baako na saa nkra nsɛm yɛ yɛn kwagye sɛm yi ɔmo nso ɛmɛtie bi nti saa mmere mɛdane ha ama yɛnua bɛrima Amos ne Sister Wendy aminhyira mo
So na yɛkɔ anim no sɛ yɛadesua ɛna yɛyɛ nti wɔ nsɛmbisa bi a ɛbɛtumi ama nsɔre mpanimfoɔ no ɛna wɔn a ɛda ano no ate afei yɛnyina yɛtumi adi ho nkɔmmɔ nti mɛsrɛ no afei yɛabɔ mpaeɛ. Awurade yɛda wo ase anwummerɛ yi yɛhyɛ w'animuonyam so aka yɛn ho abɛdu saa berɛ yi. Da wo ase wo nsɛm a aba yɛn nkyɛn wo na wobɛtumi akyerɛkyerɛ yɛn mu ama yɛhu deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛyɛ. Yɛhu pain and suffering all around us. We are sometimes involved ɛwɔ saa nɔɔma yi nyinaa mu. Your family members, abusuafoɔ, ɛnamfofoɔ, tɔrɔ bi a yɛnte aseɛ, but ɛnnɛ na wasɛm so yɛhu deɛ ɛfiri no, na ne nyinaa mu no sɛ wadi kan adi ne so nkonim nti sɛ yɛde yɛn ho ma wo a, we are more than conquerors. Yɛda wase sɛ wɔbɛma yɛn de yɛn ho ato so yie na wo na wadom so asiesie yɛn wagye afi ɛyɛ the traps na afei ɛyɛ frustrations na afei disappointments de ba yɛ akwan mu nyinaa mu. Yɛda wase sɛ wodɔ yɛn berɛ a yɛfie yɛde yɛn ho hyɛ wo nsa. Wonim deɛ obiara dwen ho n'akoma mu. Ɛsoro sɛ wobɛdom yɛn na afei wama no asi yɛn yie na yɛn nso yɛtumi ahyɛ afoforɔ nso den. Ɛne yɛnkɔ na bɔ yɛn ho ban wɔn na bɛkɔ adwuma hwɛ wɔn nso fa wɔn kɔ na ɛba nso de wɔn aba na berɛ bɛsan hyia bia mu no na yɛaba with praises and adoration a yɛde brɛ wo din kronkron no. Ɛsoro sɛ ka yɛn ho fa yɛn mfom so ɔkyɛ yɛn ɛhyira yɛn nyinaa wɔ Yesu din mu nti amen.